Hey, Stacy Carp, thank you for jumping into chat today. So question from Stacy Carp is, what is the best Shure SM7B alternative? Yeah, for voice like you're doing right now. Yeah, that's a good question. So Stacy, I do have a very clear answer on that. I've got, you're using a Blue Yeti right now, but picks up too much background noise. I totally understand. So I've had my Blue Yeti for the last 10 years. And Blue Yeti got me started on YouTube when I was a full-time Twitch streamer about 10 years ago. But since then, microphone technology has improved massively. And so what you're going to want to look at is, obviously, to address your problem, you're going to want to look at microphones that can isolate out room noise and have a narrower pickup pattern. So if you're looking for one that is like the Shure SM7B, the closest thing to an SM7B that exists on the market, literally, is the one I'm using right now, and it is the Shure MV7 microphone, this one right here. So it has a similar capsule. It's got the built-in, I'll go ahead and show it to you up close. It's got a lot of differences to the Shure SM7B that actually make it superior to the Shure SM7B. So it's smaller, as you can see. It still is a microphone that wants you to be very close to it, like the Shure SM7B, and it's great at noise isolation. But one thing that's different about this microphone versus the Shure SM7B, take a look at the back of it back here. You see the back? It's got two connections on the back of this microphone. It's got an XLR connection and a USB connection. So it means that this microphone can connect to any computer without a mixer, without any sort of extra processing. I mean, I'm running mine through a Rodecaster Pro mixer right now, but you can connect this microphone to any computer, iPad, phone, etc. through the USB. And it's got free software that comes along with it to enhance it, to increase presence, do a better compressor, to do a limiter, etc. And it has a freaking amazing sound, as you can hear. It's the Shure MV7, and it costs less than the Shure SM7B, all in this one package. I freaking love this microphone. I very, very highly recommend it, so you can kind of check out some of the features kind of larger and up close. But it's something that I think that you should seriously consider if you like the super clean SM7B style, let's say, clean signal, right? And so this is it right here. This is it. This is the Shure MV7 right here. And it's got built-in controls right here on the Shure SM7B, and you can mute it using the built-in controls on the top of the microphone. You can even select what the playback is like in your headphones with the controls, which is really, really nice. So you can choose how much of the mix is monitor mix, how much of the mix is hearing your own voice. Does it sound as good through USB? Yes, it sounds about the same as it sounds right now through USB as it does through my mixer. Now this mixer does have some really nice processing on it, but the processing that comes along with the USB version is pretty extensive. And this is the part that makes this microphone, in my opinion, more attractive than the Shure SM7B overall, because it's got the USB jack right here, and it's got the XLR jack on it, which is freaking great, right? And it's got see the headphone jack over there as well? It's got the headphone jack over here too. So you can plug headphones directly into it and do direct monitoring without having to worry about getting a microphone interface. So if the sound that you hear right now is like, I'd say my current sound with this microphone is like an 8 out of 10, if you will. Whereas the Shure SM7B, I think, would be like a 9 out of 10. Then this microphone through a USB port is, I'd say, a 7 out of 10. Okay? So it's not quite as good as you're hearing right now, but it's still very, very good. And one of the beautiful things about it is that you can upgrade the sound of this microphone if you will, I'm using air quotes here. You can upgrade, if you will, by purchasing something like a Rodecaster Pro mixer or whatever sort of XLR interface you want to use in the future, so that you can add extra processing, you can have improved preamps and things of that description for your setup in the future. And so that's something that I think you should seriously consider. The MV7 is way more cost effective. And I'm just going to turn the processing off really quick before you buy it, Stacy. I'm going to turn the processing off just so you can hear the way it sounds with the processing off in this mixer. It's just like this really, really clean sound. And here's the Rodecaster Pro mixer I'm featuring right now if you guys are curious to check that out. But the Rodecaster Pro, here, I'm using channel 3 on the mixer. And I've got audio processing on right now. So here's the way it sounds with audio processing off. You hear the difference? This is what the way it sounds with audio processing off. Do you hear how like clean and flat the signal is with the processing off? So if you throw any EQ on top of this, if you throw any processing on top of this, you start with a really clean signal like this, right? And then you can build on top of it. And then this mixer, when I turn the processing on, as you can hear, it adds a lot of presence, a bit of noise, a high pass filter, a de-esser, and a compressor and things like that, which makes it, you know, obviously makes the sound bigger, but it makes it a little bit messier. And one other thing to note about this microphone is the, here, let me go ahead and minimize this over here. Boop, boop. One other thing to note about this mic is the pickup pattern is really tight. So I keep it obviously like hang 10 distance away from my mouth, right? So it's like extremely close to my mouth, as you can see right here. Like I'm like maybe 4 or 5 inches away, which I think is the optimal distance with this mic. But watch what happens when I move my head even slightly to the side. So if I talk up like this, do you see how much it eliminates the noise? Even just pointing your head up and turning to the side. Do you see how much it eliminates the sound just turning to the side? Isn't that insane? Like the pickup pattern on this thing is a really narrow shotgun blast style pickup pattern off the front of this microphone right into your mouth. So it helps eliminate room noise. But one other qualifier I want to tell you about the Shure MV7 is this room, I have a rug. I have a floor rug here. Obviously that is a factor in eliminating noise. And I have some acoustic paneling and bass traps in this room, which helps eliminate some of the echo that would naturally be occurring in my space. So I want to make sure that, you know, you're hearing the full story, I guess you could say, on the sound that you're hearing right now on the Shure SM7B. But one thing that I think is impressive about it is right now I have multiple computers going that are very loud and a fan. So I've got this fan over here blowing right at me, and the windscreen on this mic is eliminating all of the air. It's like it's blowing pretty hard at me right now, and the windscreen is eliminating the fan that's coming toward me. I use this to keep myself cool because I have this monster computer down here that adds a ton of heat to my space. You don't hear that in the background, right? I've also got this production laptop right over here with got big old fans on the back of it. You don't hear that. And I also have air conditioning, which you see the vent down here. I also have air conditioning blowing in here at the same time. So there's a lot of background noise. There's a lot of room noise. And this microphone does a pretty darn good job of eliminating all of those sort of ambient noises that are here in my studio as well, right? Yep. Yeah, the Blue Yeti picks up a lot of fans and humming. That is absolutely right. It sure does. Blue Yeti's great. It's a great, like, I'd say, like, business microphone, if you will.